Hey 12 Tomatoes fans, it's Mark with 12 Tomatoes, and today we're going to have a spare rib cook-off. Instant Pot versus crock pot versus oven at 275. And with all of those various methods, we're gonna see which one is the tastiest, the tenderest, and just the best, most succulent spare ribs. So we're gonna start off by making a dry rub, putting that on all of them, getting them in their methods of cooking, and away we go. All right, we are going to start by making the dry rub. First, we have a tablespoon of chili powder, tablespoon of onion powder, tablespoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of smoked paprika, tablespoon of pepper, half teaspoon of cinnamon. That's gonna bring out some really nice flavors. Was it a cup or a half cup of brown sugar? Just mix that all up. Ready to go on the ribs. So now what I'm doing here is I have these ribs that are washed, and I'm removing the membrane. Now, I'm not particularly good at this. Let me know your best method. I've heard a lot of different things. I'm using a butter knife right now, something blunt. I've heard you can use a spoon. Some people use a sharp knife. Seems to be working all right for me right now, is just kind of digging in under the membrane with the butter knife until you can pull it off. But it's often easier said than done, isn't it? Next up, we're going to cover the ribs with our dry rub. Rub that in nicely. Make sure to get both sides, every nook. So the full rack of ribs I'm gonna do in the oven. I'm gonna cut this one in half and put one half in the slow cooker, one in the Instant Pot. Gonna put in some apple cider. Gonna go in the bottom. Worcestershire sauce. Put in your ribs. We're gonna cook this one high for 4 hours. If you want it even more tender, low for 8 hours. This one we're going to cover with aluminum foil tightly. And we're going to bake this at 275 for 3 to 4 hours. And lastly, for the Instant Pot, we have apple cider again, Worcestershire. Put in the rack to elevate the ribs. We're going to pressure cook this for 25 minutes, then let the pressure release naturally for 10 minutes before releasing the valve. All right, this is the one from the Instant Pot, looking pretty good. This is the one from the crock pot, looking pretty similar. A little darker maybe. What we're gonna do now is just brush them, just slather them with barbecue sauce, both sides, and then we're gonna broil it for just 5 minutes. Now we got our oven roasted ribs. Let's take a look at those. Slather that with barbecue sauce as well. Our last step, once again, broiling in the oven. All right, straight out of the oven. After the broil, we have the oven roasted, Instant Pot, and slow cooker. First impressions off the bat is the slow cooker ribs are already falling off the bone. You can see, just putting it down, a bone is slid out there. I'm gonna go ahead and give these a try. I'm gonna start with the oven. I'm gonna be messy and use my fingers here. Very tender. Oven was great, very tender. Let's try the slow cooker, see how it compares. I gotta say, the slow cooker one is even a little bit more tender than the oven one. The oven method is the kind of method that I use typically. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that something out of the slow cooker is so tender. Now I'm gonna try the Instant Pot. Right off the bat, the Instant Pot one it's just firmer. It's actually harder to break pieces off. Oh yeah. It is surprisingly tougher, the Instant Pot one. It's harder to pull off the bone. It's just tougher, and it's not as tender when you're chewing it. Flavor-wise, they're all great. But what do we really want when we make ribs, right? We want it fall off the bone tender. That's what they're all about. And I gotta give it to the slow cooker. Or I might have to change my method, which is typically in the past the oven method, and change my new method to the slow cooker and finish it off by broiling in the oven. Honestly, not very impressed with the Instant Pot method personally. It's just not as tender as you want your ribs, and I guess the old wisdom of low and slow is the way to go for ribs, right? That has proven to be true. These two both were cooking for 4 hours on low, and this one 25 minutes in the Instant Pot, plus the time it takes to heat it up and cool down. You have ribs in under 45 minutes, but they're not the fall off the bone ribs that I want. So number 1 for me goes to slow cooker, number 2 oven, and far behind is Instant Pot. Let me know if you have an Instant Pot method that works. Obviously you can use your Instant Pot as a slow cooker too, but I guess I should say the Instant Pot pressure cooking method I was not very impressed with. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite method to cook ribs. Of course, we didn't do the classic grill. We're doing all inside kitchen methods today, but I'd love to hear, do you do slow cooker? Do you do oven? Do you use the grill exclusively? Do you do Instant Pot and get success on the pressure cooking settings? And if so, what do you do? All right, congratulations to the crock pot. We'll see you guys next time on 12 Tomatoes.
12 Tomatoes.